Hello and welcome to the lecture of fiber optic communication. So in this course so far we have covered the historical background of fiber optic communication. We have also seen the difference between traditional uh, communication system block diagram and the fiber optic communication or the optical communication block diagram. Apart from that, we have taken up the ray transmission model to understand how light propagates through our optical fiber waveguide. In this optical fiber waveguide and the ray transmission model, we have uh, we have also discussed that how the Snell's law is used to find a critical angle uh, depending upon which the total internal reflection occurs in the fiber optic core and which results into the transmission of light through the fiber optic core. Now, as we have discussed the critical angle, we have also said in last lecture that there are other parameters too upon which this critical angle is dependent and upon which we can also say that this total internal reflection is also dependent. So today we will discuss about those parameters and we'll see how these parameters are helping us to achieve this critical angle which is required for total internal reflection. The first parameter that we see uh, which is required for achieving the critical angle is known as the acceptance angle. Now, as we see here in the diagram, we see a fiber optic cable consisting of core and cladding, and we also see an acceptance cone. Now, this is the acceptance cone, uh, and this is outside the fiber optic cable, and light is incident or light is pumped into this fiber optic core, and it follows different path. So the light may follow different path or multiple path, not only a single path, but it may follow multiple path. But here we have taken only two paths, which we will see that how this acceptance angle is actually required. So first let us consider the path A uh, as we see in the diagram. Okay, so let us consider this path of light which is denoted by A, which is falling into the fiber optic core or at the edge of air and core medium. So this is the edge of the air and core medium where the light falls at an angle of theta A. Now this theta A is nothing but the acceptance angle. We'll come to it later. But let us first consider this light ray which is within this acceptance cone. Okay, so let us consider this and let us follow that how this light is behaving when it is falling inside the acceptance cone and at the edge of the fiber optic core. So this is how the light is falling or incident. Now we see here that since this is the edge of the air and the core medium, so there is a difference between difference in the refractive index of air medium and the refractive index of the core medium. So since there is a difference in the refractive index of core and air medium, so what will happen is that the light ray which is falling here will get refracted a little bit. Okay, so light will get refracted a little bit, and we see that little change in angle or little bit of refraction here. So this is the path that a light will follow. So this is how this light is getting refracted here, and it is now falling into the edge of the core and cladding. Now since this light path which is within this acceptance cone uh, that's why this light path is achieving the critical angle when it is falling into the core and cladding edge. Okay, so if we draw a normal at the meeting point of this light when it is meeting the core and cladding edge, if we take this as a normal, then it is forming an angle which is the critical angle. So this since this is forming a critical angle, so we can say that this light is completely or totally internally reflected, and it is not leaking into the cladding portion, and so it goes on following this path, and again it is achieving a critical angle here in this region, and again gets reflected in the core region. So in this way, if a light which is incident on the fiber optic core maintains or falls or under the acceptance core or has an angle of incidence of acceptance angle, then it will definitely achieve a critical angle, and that critical angle will drive the light to follow a total internal reflection path, and it will go through the core region and reach the destination path. Likewise, if we take an example of another light ray which is denoted by B and which falls outside this acceptance core and has an angle of incidence greater than the acceptance angle, then we will see what it will happen. So now let us follow this light path of B. So this is the light path of B, and since again this light is coming from the air medium to the core medium, so when it is coming to the edge of air and core edge, so it is getting refracted a little bit. So that is we see here that the light path is refracted a little bit. But since this light ray of B path has an acceptance angle greater than the theta A, or it is outside the acceptance cone, the light which is incident on the fiber optic core, which is outside the acceptance cone, it is not achieving a critical angle when it is meeting the core and cladding edge. So since it is not meeting the core and cladding edge, so what is happening is that the light ray is eventually leaked into the cladding region, and in the cladding region, since the cladding is also made up of glass, so it is eventually lost here in the cladding part, and it is not coming back into the core. So what we are getting is we are not getting a total internal reflection if the light ray is outside the path or outside the acceptance cone, and we are losing it because total internal reflection is not happening. So this is the most important parameter, which is the acceptance angle. So any light ray which we are going to send through the fiber optic core must be within the range of acceptance angle, or must be within this acceptance cone. So if we are transmitting a light ray within acceptance angle, then we are definitely forming a total internal reflection inside the fiber optic core, and our light will get transmitted. So this is again that we see here. Now, as we have observed this, so we can say that any light ray which falls into or enters the fiber optic core at an angle of theta A or less than the angle of theta A, then it will be transmitted. And if it enters the fiber core at an angle greater than theta A, it will be not achieving the critical angle, and it will not be totally internally reflected. So thus we can make this statement here that any rays which are incident into the fiber core at an angle greater than theta A, that will be transmitted to the core cladding interface at an angle less than theta C. Okay, so we are not going to achieve this theta c if the angle of incidence is greater than the acceptance angle, and hence it will not be totally internally reflected. So this is the most important property that um, we also should maintain, and this is the property that we see from the wave transmission model. Thus, to achieve this transmission, uh, we must transmit, or the light should be pumped into the fiber core at an angle less than or equal to the acceptance angle. So hence we can say that for any propagation through the fiber optic core, uh, we must send light not more than a angle which is greater than theta. So now we next come to the another parameter which is known as numerical aperture. Now numerical aperture is again can be calculated from this diagram. Okay, so here we are considering that this light ray that is coming here, which is incident here, is following the acceptance angle, and it is within the range of acceptance angle. So we can consider that theta 1 is less than or equal to the acceptance angle theta a. So if it is following the acceptance angle, or if this light ray is within the acceptance cone, then it will get refracted a little bit, because it is coming from a different refractive index medium, that is which is air, to a core. So it gets refracted a little bit, but it achieves the critical angle, and since it achieves critical angle, so it gets totally internally reflected. Now from this diagram, or considering this triangle that we see here, which is formed by this light ray, so this triangle A, B, and C, we can calculate a formula of numerical aperture, which gives us the value of numerical aperture in terms of the refractive indexes of core and cladding. Now, if you see the explanation or the acceptance angle, it is not possible for us to measure the angle of light when it is incident into the fiber optic core. So to achieve the acceptance angle without measuring it, we can deduce a formula that can give us that if we maintain that value, then automatically the acceptance angle will be achieved. So that value is given in terms of the refractive indexes. So what we do here is we bring it down, the values of angle in terms of the refractive indexes, and thus we can easily calculate that if we can maintain this numerical aperture, then we can easily maintain the acceptance angle. So as I have already said, that we consider a light ray which is incident on this fiber core at an angle theta 1, which is less than the acceptance angle, and thus it can form a total internally reflection in the core. So now it enters the fiber core from the air medium, which is in naught, and it falls inside the core region of refractive index N1, and the refractive index of the cladding, which is N2, which is slightly less than the refractive index of N1. So if this is the case, then this phenomena actually is occurring here. So considering this, we can now take this triangle here, ABC, this triangle here, and we can deduce a formula for numerical aperture. So let us see that formula. So assuming this thing, and considering this, or using the Snell's law that we have already studied, we can write this phenomena for the case when light is actually falling in the core region, that means from air medium to the core medium. So considering this, so that means here when light is falling from core and air, so in this interface, that means air and core interface, we can use Snell's law to define this refraction that has been caused. So using Snell's law at this interface, we can easily use Snell's law to understand the behavior of light or the behavior of refraction. So we can easily use that formula, and we can write this, that n naught sine theta 1 is equal to n1 sine theta 2, where theta 1 is the angle of acceptance and theta 2 is the angle of refraction which is caused inside the core. So this is our equation 1. Now we consider the right triangle, triangle ABC, and from that triangle we can write that angle phi, that means critical angle phi, is nothing but equals to pi by 2 minus theta 2. So we can also see this from this equation. So this is phi, and phi, this is theta 2, and this is 90 degree. So we can easily write that phi is nothing but it is equal to pi by 2 minus theta 2. So this is a very easy form here. So this is what we are getting here. So phi is equals to pi by 2 minus theta 2. Now what we will do here, since phi is greater than the critical angle at the core cladding interface, so we can easily write or we can use this theta 2 here and replace it with the value here. So we are simply using equation 2, the value of theta 2 that we get from equation 2, and we substitute here in this equation 1. So this equation 1 becomes in the form of n1 cos phi. So what we are getting is, we are getting the acceptance angle and the critical angle, and we are getting the air interface refractive index and the core refractive index. So this is a very easy relationship. Now we are using trigonometric relationship of sine square theta sine square phi plus cos square phi, which is equals to 1, and we will use this relationship in equation 3 to write this cos phi in this form. So cos square phi can be written as 1 minus sine square phi from this trigonometric relationship, and we will put this value of cos phi here. So this cos phi becomes 1 minus sine square phi to the power half. So this is what we are getting in this equation, and if you look closely, we are slowly getting this equation in terms of critical angle, and that critical angle is dependent on the refractive index of core and cladding. So the whole term will come in form of the refractive index of core and cladding. Okay. So now if we take the limiting case of total internal reflection, now limiting case of total internal reflection means that critical angle phi or the angle phi becomes equal to the critical angle for a core and cladding interface, which is nothing but 90 degree. So so we are taking this phi as phi c, which is the critical angle, and this theta 1 we are taking it as the angle, acceptance angle, or theta a. So now replacing theta 1 or taking theta 1 as the limiting case, the limiting case for acceptance is known as the acceptance angle, which is the maximum angle that we need to achieve. So theta 1 taking the limiting case, which is theta a, and this phi taking the limiting case as the critical angle, which is phi c. So what we can write here is that we can now replace this equation in terms of cladding and core refractive indexes, because we know that sine phi is equals to n2 by n1. Okay, because sine phi c, that means the critical angle, which we already have studied. So critical angle sine phi c is always equals to n2 by n1. So just replacing value of sine square phi here, we can write n2 square by n1 square, and thus we can get this equation. So a very small mathematical equation that we have done here. So sine square phi is replaced with the value of critical angle, which is equals to n2 by n1, and thus we are writing this equation. So now this value, that is n naught sine theta a, this becomes our numerical aperture. Now, because why this becomes our numerical aperture? Because theta a is the maximum angle of acceptance, and N0 is the refractive index of air. So since light is entering the fiber optic core at an angle of acceptance angle and from the refractive index of air medium, so we will call this term N naught sine theta pi a is equals to N1 square minus N2 square to the power half. So we can say that acceptance angle is now related to or can be given by the value of the refractive indexes of core and cladding. So thus we can say that now instead of writing N naught sine theta a, we'll write this as numerical aperture NA. So we can say that numerical aperture, which is related to the acceptance angle, is now can be defined using the refractive index of core and refractive index of cladding. So now if you are designing a fiber optic core and if you know that this is the refractive index of the core that I'm going to design, and this is the refractive index of cladding that we are going to design. Now if you can maintain that, you can easily calculate what should be the acceptance angle and what should be the refractive numerical aperture. So thus we can define numerical aperture in this way, that Na is equals to N naught sine theta a, where N naught is the refractive index of air medium, sine theta a is the acceptance angle, and N1 is refractive index of core, N2 is the refractive index of cladding. So thus we come here that acceptance angle can be related to numerical aperture, which is again related to the refractive index of core and cladding. So this is what we can get from here. Now since N naught is the air medium and its refractive index is 1, so we can simply write that numerical aperture is equals to sine theta a, or the angle of acceptance. Okay, so this is how we can derive numerical aperture. From numerical aperture also we can also take another parameter which is known as delta, which is given as which is known as relative refractive index. So we can calculate this from here also. So this is what a relative refractive index which is defined by the the refractive index of core and cladding. Now in the numericals or any practical usage, we can use both alternatively. Either we can use numerical aperture or we can use the relative refractive indexes. Now both these terms are related to the refractive index of the core and the cladding. So this is what we are getting. Now if we combine this equation 6 and 7, now we can see this equation 6 and 7. So if you combine this equation 6 and 7, so you can write this, combining this 6 and 7, you can simply write this equation that numerical aperture is related to the relative refractive index by this formula. So you have just to remember formulas, three formulas, that is numerical aperture, the relative refractive indexes, and how these two terms, that means numerical aperture and relative refractive index difference, are related to each other. So now as we have seen this, we have derived and we have seen the three parameters which are extremely essential for the ray transmission model. That means the critical angle, the acceptance angle, and the numerical aperture, which must be hold true if we want to transmit or propagate light through the fiber core following our totally internal reflection. If these three parameters are not met, then we may lose a light inside the cladding. Okay, now using this equation, we can say that from this equations, this fiber optic core diameter that we see can be as small as 8 micrometers. So this, from the numerical aperture, we can calculate that what is the minimum amount of the or what is the minimum dimension of the fiber optic core which can support total internal reflection for a single mode. However, if we try to achieve uh, more smaller diameters for fiber optic core, then to achieve this using ray transmission model, then it becomes very difficult, because using the geometrical optics that we have used in ray transmission model, it becomes difficult for us to design using using these parameters below the 8 micrometer diameter. Now, to achieve this, achieve the design of fiber optic core having dimension less than 8 micrometer diameter, we have to use another model to understand the behavior or to understand the losses that the light may incur while it is transmitted or propagated through the fiber optic core. So for that, we cannot depend on ray theory model, because it is just a partial description of the character of light. It is not a complete description. Okay, so we can say that ray theory model is a partial description, but we cannot achieve or we cannot understand the loss the light may incur when it is propagating. So to understand that that part, or to get a full understanding of the characteristic of the light when it is propagating through the fiber optic core, we need another model which is known as the electromagnetic mode theory, which will be applied in this in this study of fiber optic cable or fiber optic transmission of light, to understand the behavior, to understand the losses, or also to understand how many modes or how many propagation modes the fiber optic waveguide can support. So to understand that, we need to study electromagnetic mode theory. Now, for the study of electromagnetic mode theory, I will expect that the undergraduate students or the postgraduate students has already covered electromagnetic theory and transmission lines, where they have already studied about the basics of electromagnetic theory. Then only we are simply applying those theories here in the electromagnetic mode theory modeling for fiber optic core. So that we will cover in the next lecture. So this is it for today. Thank you.